Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Panel Guy. This week we're going to be talking about the elephant in the room, certification. Certification is a bit of a bad word as it's perceived across our industry. It's probably the reason we've had such a negative press. People talk badly about manufacturers and construction and regulation. And it's all to do with certification is the ultimate fact. Who's to blame? And that's the $1 million question. Over the last few years, I've met with numbers of architects saying, "We need your help. How can we do this? Why are we being blamed for this? If the manufacturers don't tell us what needs to be done, how do we know?" And it's true, that's correct. Same with design and build main contractors, same with installers. But the thing is, it's a complicated chicken and egg situation. Manufacturers don't want to share the information of what their certification is, because ultimately they then share their secrets to other manufacturers, and then it becomes widely available. There's got to be responsibility with architects to make sure that their due diligence is done. Same with the main contractors as well, and they're also the installers they're the guys who are installing these the panel systems, whether it's a roofing system, an external cladding system, an internal firewall, a coal store. Those are the ones who are responsible for the installation, to make sure it's done correctly and to make sure it's done to the actual certification which is required. It's not just about fire. There's also all the regulation like the EN 14509. There's facade carriers, things like that. There's a whole world of certification, and that needs to be relevant in construction. And we all of us involved in our industry have to take some responsibility for that. We all have to be a bit more transparent, and we all have to work together to make sure things are built correctly, to make our industry great again. You see some wonderful buildings in city centers and up and down the motorways and the highways all over Europe and all over the world, but we want to make sure that those are built correctly. I've seen project pictures posted on the likes of LinkedIn many times every week, and we've got to look at this new firewall, look at this new facade system, and when you look at them you're thinking they're not built correctly. And we all have a responsibility to do that. And I've met with a number of manufacturers who they are working on this. They are they are moving what they've been doing for many years, changing what they've been doing for many years. And as I say, like the likes of when Grenfell and the hearing came out and it started to go into about the certification, about the testing of products, there is it's very serious. Things are being built incorrectly, things are being specified incorrectly, things are being installed incorrectly, and unfortunately, people have passed and people have died, and that's such a tragedy. And and as I say, we all have to take a responsibility for this. But maybe it isn't a case of who's to blame. Maybe it is a case of that we need to work harder, we need to work better, we need to work together. It's not just about marketing, it's not just about sales, it's not just about beautiful looking projects and being built stunning, but maybe those projects are built without the needs of where they can't be built correctly because the materials don't exist or there's no certification to that. So we all have to work together to do this. When it goes into fire testing, one thing I've had to struggle with for many years, and I've worked for lots of manufacturers all over Europe, is certification. Certain fire test, third-party fire test organizations suddenly become relevant, and that's not right. Ultimately, you've got an EN or you've got a BS, which is the fire test. A BS tends to be a variation of an EN fire test, which is already in place. It shouldn't be relevant that the fire test facility is more important than the actual fire test. There's fire test facilities all over the world, and those are doing this test to the same standard. So why should one be judged more important than the others? unless it's something like a Factory Mutual or DIBT, the Zula song, um, those have their own requirements and their own standards of what they're actually testing to, which is very, very important. And it's, and I stand fully behind that. I support that. We want to make sure that these things are built correctly. Who's to say that the EN is the best test in the world? And things are constantly evolving. But again, when you see likes of tests coming out of assessments, that's the problem at the moment, and it has been for a couple of years now. Who is actually correct? Is an assessment acceptable? If it's done on a computer, does that mean it's relevant? A couple of years ago, there was a number of manufacturers who, they all tested or were assessed to a new standard, which was a 10-meter firewall, which is crazy, absolutely crazy. It should never, ever be allowed. Again, just my opinion, but it's certainly very, very relevant. And even if a 10-meter single span firewall is testable, if there is a facility in the world, which I don't think there is, but if there is such a test facility in the world, who's to say that's the static design of that is correct? If a building can have a 10-meter portal frame span, that means it's a significant industrial distribution center. And if that's the case, then that means it's going to have roller shutters from either side of the building, and the suction and pressure loads against that wall of 10 meters is crazy, and installers are using that as a means to push this and their services together. So it is, as I say, we all need to work together. We all need to work better. We all need to work more honesty, more integrity, and to make our industry great again. And the thing is, as well, it's, as I say, it's not just about fire. There's also things such as like warranties. Warranties has been something which has been a bit of a minefield for many, many years. Obviously, every year somebody comes up with a new warranty, which seems beyond the life of what a panel system can do and what steel can do. You talk to the manufacturer of the steel, and they will say it's 10 years, 15 years, and then and suddenly it goes out and it's going into crazy lengths of time. Yeah, we need to be better. We need to be better. We need to do this correctly. It's, as I say, it's not just about marketing. It's not about sales. It's about building correctly. And the whole point of what I'm trying to do here is, certainly with warranties, is, it's being honest, being open, showing the industry what is relevant. It's a warranty isn't automatically applied, which lots of clients think it is. I've had many roles over the years where I've had to go and see clients and tell them, you've no warranty on your building. Can I come and see you and talk to you about, maybe a new roof or new walls or something? And, I've had, people who've been very upset because they found out there's no warranty on the building. And, it's, again, who takes responsibility? We need to be open and honest about these things. We need to inform the market. We need to inform the industry, and we need to work together to make this process better. It's not just about annual maintenance. Who does the annual maintenance? How is it recorded? Who shares that? Who takes responsibility for that? That should all be publicly, made available, at the time of when a panel system is ordered. It's not just about, by law that you can have 2 years, or however it is, like within the EU. If you say you're going to do something, you do it. And there have been manufacturers, some I've worked with myself, that have just basically withdrawn, just decided, nope, we're not going to do it anymore. And it's not fair. It's not correct. It shouldn't be allowed. It's if you say you're going to do something, you do it. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit old school. That if you give your word, you follow through. You deliver what you've promised. But I'm not here to blame anybody. I'm not here to attack anybody. It's not about manufacturers, not about architects. It's not about design and build contractors or the installers. It's not about the individual components, the associated companies. It's not about those either. What I'm trying to do is, the whole point of the panel guy is to make this industry a better place. I'm here to help everybody. So wherever stage you're at, whether you're an architect and you're looking to build a new stadium, a new industrial development, commercial development, you've got an idea of what you've been using for many years, or you've got an idea of what you're looking to do, come and see me, or give me a call, give me an email, whatever. Let me know what you're trying to achieve. I can then go out to the market. I can then find the correct products relevant to you. Talk to me about your steelwork. I will then tell you which is the, structurally, which will span the correct distances you need. Um, with regards to the fire installation, maybe it's you want it to look as neat and as crisp as as it needs to be. If you might have a fire rating, but the products that you're specifying, you maybe didn't realize they needed to be stitch joints or intumescent tapes and things like that. But again, this is the things what I'm trying to help with. It's again, same with the warranty. If you need something which has to give a 25-year warranty or 15-year warranty, it's right on the coast, or you're looking for specific materials to last the duration of 30 years or in excess. That's what I'm here to do, and that's what I'm here to help you with. So like I say, I'm not here to attack anybody, not at all. I'm here to try and help make the industry a better place, and I'm here to try and work with manufacturers. And over the next couple of weeks, I've got meetings with a number of composite panel manufacturers. I'll be obviously announcing them as and when we do this, and when we're sitting down and we're talking with the manufacturers. And I encourage more. I think we've got eight different manufacturers that I'm going to meet, that I'm sitting down with. These are just from around Europe, but there's a lot more. There's global manufacturers, and maybe you need to talk about some of the things you've got. You might have a specific fire test, you might have a specific static design, a technical performance, or a warranty, or something that isn't available with anybody else. You should be talking about these things, which might be relevant and it might be important. We can give you that platform, and this isn't just about, oh well, this is a lovely coating, or this is a lovely profile. We want to try and make the industry a better place, as I say. And if I can help you, if I can help the architects, if I can help the designers, the design and build contractors, main contractors, installers. If you are an installer as well, and you're not sure about installation of something, if I've maybe triggered something that perhaps you didn't know, you didn't realize, you didn't understand, talk to me. I've been in the industry a long time. I'm sure together, I can give you some advice. I can learn some things from you as well. And if you want to talk on my platform, please get in touch. It'd be great to hear from you. Great to talk to you. And we can certainly help each other, and as I say, make the industry a better place. Give the roofing and cladding industry some much needed positivity, and so hopefully you can see what I'm trying to do here. It is a positive. It isn't a negative. I don't want you to think that I'm attacking this company or whatever. I'm here for a positive reason. And I'm here to try and, the whole point of doing this, I'm not selling panels anymore. The only time I do sell any panels is if it's part of a solar system, because I'm trying to help the future of our planet, with the sustainability products. But I don't sell panels anymore on a daily basis. I've just seen out my existing projects. So, I'm putting a lot into this industry and into this new venture. I'm putting myself, under financial strain. I've had a really, really tough last 18 months in the industry. Much of you know a lot about that, which I've been hit very, very hard financially. But I'm putting myself into this position now where it's not about the money. It's not about getting out there and marketing and things like that. I've created this platform to try and make our industry better. As I say, I've worked for lots of manufacturers. I respect all manufacturers. There's not one manufacturer I don't respect. And I respect every single one of them. Every single one has its own quality, has its own benefits, has its own. Yes, there are negatives with some manufacturers, but that's life. can't do everything. Not every manufacturer can do everything. So I'm here to try and say, do this honestly, with integrity, and to try and make our industry a better place. So please drop me an email, give me a call. You know, if you want a Teams, a Zoom, or if you want an old-fashioned meeting in person, give me a call and get in touch. And hopefully I'll see you soon. Okay, take care.